Hey folks, today we're going to be testing the turtle, specifically the LP chances on turtle rerolls. Is it similar to normal drops or other things? Is it affected by COF or corruption or any of that stuff? This is going to be an offline test, but we did get confirmation from EHG Mike that the LP chances in offline and online should be the same. Ring of the Third Eye I picked specifically because, for one, ring slot is small, it's 1x1, so I can do this more easily. And also, this is a very low LP level item, LP level 14, which means that roughly 16% of the time you would expect this ring to go to at least 2 LP. So based on that, we need a much smaller sample size. Anyway, if you do like this sort of thing, if you enjoy these mathy, sciencey videos, please consider leaving a like on the video, helping support me make more of them. As always, much appreciated, and let's jump into it. What we're going to be doing today is throwing all 1,000 of these rings into the turtle one by one. At the end, what I'm expecting is we're going to have a bunch of 2, 3, and 4 LP rings that I'm going to pick up. There should be no 1 LPs out of this because the turtle will only go either up in LP or back down to 0. So only 2, 3, and 4 LPs I'm going to pick up, and then we're going to crunch the numbers and compare to what we think it should be based on normal drops from some data mine numbers there. So while we're going through this, just a hot tip if you're not already aware, if you double click the items in the turtle after you roll, they will drop onto the ground behind the menu. But if it has LP, it will actually not let you drop it onto the ground. So if you want to quickly roll a lot of items in turtle, you can actually just double click all of the items and the ones with LP will be automatically saved. All right, we're back. As expected, there are no 1 LPs. All this stuff on the ground is lagging me, so we'll go somewhere else. All right, much better. So the results, this is what we got. Obviously, all the 0 LPs I just left on the ground, so we don't really care. So we just have the 2 LPs here, the 3 LPs, and no 4 LPs. For the sake of testing everything, I've also ranked up to COF rank 8. In the previous test, we were rank 3. So now the unique should be twice as likely to have LP. And I've grabbed another 200 rings. We don't need as big of a sample size for this one, just because the COF rank, it should be doubling the LP, so it would be noticeable even with a smaller sample size if that is actually happening with the turtle. All right, we're back. We did throw all those rings into the turtle as well. And one thing I immediately noticed is roughly half of the rings are now COF tagged. None of them were before. So that immediately tells me that the turtle is probably working with COF. We're going to throw these into the spreadsheet as well anyway. All right, and here we are at the fun part. I put all the data into the spreadsheet and we're comparing the expected numbers to the numbers we actually got. The expected numbers are being pulled from Tunk Labs, so big thanks to Tunk. These are all data mine numbers, so they do seem to be pretty accurate. We have the numbers here for the tongue ring and for the ring of the third eye. And that's what we have here. The first thing that jumped out at me is actually just how close the expected results were to our actual results. This doesn't usually happen when you collect data. Like there's some amount of variance here, but we expected 838 out of 1,000 0p, and we got 839. Like that's kind of wild. So right away, I think it's probably safe to say that the LP chance for the turtle, when you throw items into the turtle, the chance of getting LP doesn't really seem to be that different than normal drops. EHG did say that they aren't the same, so it is possible there's some difference. Maybe that difference comes into play with higher LP levels or something like that. But just at first glance, if there was a big difference with 1,000 rings put in, you would probably expect to see something here. Now, as for corruption, even when you compare 0 corruption to 1,000 corruption, there isn't actually that big of a difference for LP chances. So that makes it very hard to determine when corruption is actually playing a role. You need a massive sample size to do this accurately. So yeah, you can see the difference between 0 corruption and 1,000 corruption would be 838 0 LP rings versus 810 0 LP rings. So that's easily within the margin of error for this sample. My hunch is that corruption does not work for this, just based off how it doesn't work for similar systems. So that's what I'm probably going to go with unless EHG confirms otherwise. But either way, it wouldn't make that much of a difference. I don't think you need to worry about corruption with the turtle, but you can be confident that it is worth throwing items into the turtle. You are going to get your LPs. The next test I did was COF. So I did the COF rank 8 bonus, and I plugged all the numbers in here with 0 corruption, 1000 corruption, if COF wasn't playing a role, if it is playing a role. And you can see the numbers here. So in the first column, again, the corruption is not actually making that much difference. And you'll notice here that the 0 corruption versus 1000 corruption, if you have COF rank 8, is actually the same. This is not an error. This happens because the low LP level items with rank 8 bonus already have a 100% chance to get at least 1 LP. So that means any extra bonus to the LP chance through like corruption, for example, doesn't do anything. So that's only the case for low LP level items because they're already 100% chance to roll 1 LP, and LP chance boosts only seem to affect the 1 LP roll. It doesn't do anything. So that's why the numbers are like this. But looking from these numbers, and also because of the faction tag that we got, it is safe to assume that COF is affecting the outcomes of the turtle. What would be interesting is if you have a MG tagged item and you put it in the turtle on a COF character, what happens? Is it going to change the tag? Is it going to not let you put it in? I haven't actually tried this. I'd be curious if anybody knows in the comments what happens. Let me know. So the TLDR on this is that the LP chance of the turtle baseline appears to be very similar to normal drops. There doesn't seem to be much bias going on there to make it more or less likely. The corruption bonus, it's unclear exactly if it does apply or not, but it is probably not applying, so it's fine to do this at lower corruption most likely, unless we hear confirmation otherwise. And the COF rank 8 bonus, doubling LP chance, does appear like it is applying. However, it will also give you the faction tag when it works, so keep that in mind. It's unclear how this would work with opposite faction tagged items or untagged non-trademarked items, so we'll have to see what actually happens there. So yeah, that's where we're at. Really interesting data. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.